Live from Cool Boys Central.
You're the boss now, man. I'm boss up here.
From bat tips to bat nips, we are just cool boys revisiting Batman, the animated series, and wearing hats. This is Batman and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast.
I see Batman and Beyond.
Greetings, Cool Boy Nation, and welcome to another installment of Batman and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast. I'm Ballard.
And I'm Steve.
So cool, Steve. Tonight's episode is The Man Who Killed Batman.
Ooh, that voice means something.
Mm-hmm.
What does that voice mean?
That voice means Bruce W. Timm directed it. And Paul Dini wrote it. Now, Steve, we discussed this before.
Uh-huh.
What does the W in Bruce W. Timm stand for?
And I still don't remember. What is it?
Walter.
Maybe next time I'll remember.
The next time he writes, or next time he directs.
Next time
an
he
episode.
shows up.
Steve, this episode came out on February 1st, 1993. And this week's villains are the Joker, Harley Quinn, and Rupert Thorne. Steve, what does Wikipedia say?
Oh, don't you want to read it because you think your voice is so nice?
Because my voice is like fucking velvet honey on your soul.
Mm-hmm. You're so hot. Oh, I could read it nice. Here, let me put on my broadcasting voice. Hold on a second. When small-time gang member Sidney, the Squid, Debris, seemingly kills Batman by accident, he gets involved with gangs all over Gotham, as well as the Joker and Rupert Thorne, none of whom believe his story that everything that is happening is by preposterous happenstance.
Wow, that's your lawyer voice.
Did you like it? Did you like my professional broadcasting voice?
No.
No?
I think we'll use my whiny nerd voice
Ugh.
continuing from this point on.
But when we have, like, if anybody ever wants to email, let us know who should...
Cool Boy Nation, tell us who you like more.
Not like more, who should read the...
Who should read? Cool Boy Nation, who should read?
Especially now after that obnoxious voice.
Hey, Scoop!
I think you'll hurt your voice if you just keep talking like that.
That's my natural voice. How dare you?
What's this voice then?
What's this voice? What's this one? What's this voice?
Oh no.
What's this voice?
Oh no.
What's
What
this?
what have I done? Have I broken you already?
What's this voice? What's this one?
You were just telling me off air that all these actors or people involved on the show really enjoyed this episode, and I didn't realize that. But I really thought this was a fun one. You know, it's more just in terms of once again, I guess like Paul Dini and Bruce Timm are just kind of like having fun in that playground instead of writing like a serious episode. It seems like most like the time when they get involved, they're just like having fun playing with this all the characters and seeing what they can do in terms of storytelling. And I enjoyed like seeing like it felt to be very film noir. It starts off with this rainy, it's pouring rain outside, and you have no idea who this person is that's just running for safety, and he's like trying to pound on the door for safety, and from there it's the classic flashback. So I thought all of and then you see as he's running, there's this headline that says Batman slain. So from Sid the Squid's perspective, it looked like Batman died because that's who was telling the story. So that's what's always kind of interesting. So he's telling the story, and so it seems like everything's working out for him, but we're not seeing the other side. We're not seeing Batman's side. We're not seeing when Batman rescues him from Joker or whatnot.
Yeah, it would be interesting. So one of my favorite things in storytelling is done really well, in my opinion, in the film Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I realize It's probably done in the book too. I didn't read it, okay? But I've seen the movie. And
Is that the one
when you
directed
have that
by
moment where you
Alfonso
kind of see
Cuarón?
what?
Who directed that one? Not Alfonso Cuarón.
Alfonso Cuarón
Cuarón?
directed the third one.
Okay.
And when you see like a movie essentially like play out in its finality, right? Or a storyline play out in its finality, and then all of a sudden you kind of go backwards and you re-see events you watched in a different form, from a different perspective, right? Not Rashomon, right? Not that. Not talking about a movie that's like Vantage Point, right? It's multiple perspectives of the same event that occurs throughout the whole film. I don't mean that. I mean like one narrative, and then you go and you see how maybe one particular character or group of characters saw that narrative from another perspective. Okay, I think that's something we're going to get in Avengers Endgame. Not to get too much into Marvel, I think that's going to be a big part of Avengers Endgame, is reviewing the events of the Marvel Cinematic Universe from a new perspective, having encountered and dealt with the events of Thanos and the snap from Infinity War. Okay, spoiler alert. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. But I kind of want that in this episode. Like, I did want that a little bit at the end. Like, I kind of wanted to go back, and now that you knew, spoiler alert for this episode, right? Batman has been saving Sid the Squid this whole time. I kind of wanted to see that. Like, kind of wanted to see, like, how he did that, when he did it. That would have been really cool. I really like the framing device here of having Rupert Thorne be the one that's told the story by Sid, of how Batman died and how the events occurred that led up to Sid coming in the door of Rupert Thorne's home. And then, really, the ending of the episode is just playing out the original crime you watch from the beginning of the episode. So you kind of, the reason why Sid is hired and the gangsters are hired for the robbery, you kind of, the result, the resolution of it plays out at Rupert Thorne's home with Batman and so forth. And that's really cool. That is really amazing. It's really an incredibly great standalone episode because of that, the way they use Sid.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was good storytelling, and you're seeing, again, how Batman is this good crime fighter,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to use that term more often than not. I really like the term crime fighter than vigilante. Like for Batman, for his character, like, because I feel like vigilante is almost more of a negative connotation, right? Obviously,
it's
like
supposed
kind
to
of,
be, yeah.
Yeah. Even though I would say Batman in his early days is a vigilante, I think, but at this point in the series, he's really moved into crime fighting, and I feel like the distinction there is the police, correct? Yeah. Commissioner Gordon working with Batman and all that type of stuff, and
so
Harvey
he's created
being more
a
comfortable
relationship.
with. Yeah, exactly. And Harvey being more comfortable with Batman.
Oh, yeah. Batman, I mean, they actually show Bullock kind of getting upset after they think Batman died in this episode. So the effects of, you see that sort of wonderful life sort of thing.
Right. You do. And what's interesting is that only 2 episodes ago, Harvey essentially just throws all this kind of shit on Batman for potentially killing Gordon. And that's really just Harvey kind of always having issues within himself, his own struggle, his own internal struggle, and it's shown in those moments when he like kind of bitches at Batman about really what Harvey was incapable of doing. Mm-hmm. And then you find out when Batman dies, Harvey actually does care. Did you like the death? The
death of Batman? Watching it as told, it definitely would seem like Batman died, I would say.
I don't know. There's a lot of cutaways to like POV shots of whatever of falling and then just nothing and then explosion.
It seemed like
the Joker has died from worse and didn't die.
Yeah, well, because he has the cape and the cowl, so it's like it seems like good evidence.
So yeah, we're in the second act now.
I love this that they take him to a bar and that there's like these guys arm wrestling or something.
I think it's the same bar that's in Almost Got Him, honestly.
Yeah, it's just the criminal bar that they all go to. And he's like, if you kill Batman, that this is like what sort of mentality is that? The King of the Hill sort of mentality.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. It's like the Deadwood mentality. It's like practically everyone in Deadwood, right?
well, if you killed him and I kill you, that means that I'm the best.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's this great bar fight. I love the little joke with the bartender who obviously doesn't care about them.
Yeah,
fighting.
he's seen it all before.
And
There's
then
nothing new here.
And then he just pushes his own like little dish onto somebody that's fallen.
Yeah, his dish of
and
nuts or
smiles.
popcorn. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so-
naughty. He's so. I mean, as expected, right? If you go to a bar full of mobsters, you hope the bartender's a bad guy too, kind of, and he ends up being as much. He's a naughty boy.
I thought that was a nice little joke. There's that was the kind of thing that I thought was fun in this. Was just that they were having fun with the episode. Nice little humor.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought next was interesting when they have Harley dressed up as an attorney, and she bails out.
I don't get that at all. Okay, so to be clear, Harley shows up. I can't remember the episode, and she shows up to. I think it's the episode where Joker's got the guy's ID, and he's kind of threatening that one guy. Anyway, so he goes to a police ball, and he has Harley show up as a police officer stripper, right? Like a cop stripper with a giant cake, right? Isn't Joker in the cake or something? He releases gas or something on the guys.
Uh-huh.
But he has some guy. Fuck, I can't remember his name. What the fuck was the episode?
Joker's favor.
Yeah, Joker's favor. Yes, with Charles.
Another.
What was his? Charles Collins or something like that.
Charlie
yes.
Collins.
Charlie Collins. Okay. So with Charlie Collins, right? Joker goes in there. He has Harley essentially as a cop stripper, as hottie police officer, and so no one recognizes her without her makeup on. Then. Oh, was it? That's right. It was the first episode of Harley Quinn. So nobody recognizes her without her makeup on there. She's in a room full of cops. Okay. No one recognizes her there. So it makes sense that she could stroll in as as a lawyer and nobody would recognize her.
Mm-hmm.
But then she goes and uses her fucking real name, Harleen Quinzel. And I'm thinking to myself, at no point would anybody at this, police department would not be like, wait a second. That's obviously a known criminal, Harley Quinn who runs with the Joker. Like, that was weird to me. I thought that was a little
Bullock
odd.
does say, like, you look familiar. It's just that she's not wearing
because
all
he's
that
the one
makeup.
who interacts with her as hottie police officer. Remember? He, puts his leg to try to, rub, sexually tries to harass her,
I
essentially,
remember.
put his leg on her.
But
and she kicks him.
I thought he was saying that she looked familiar because of, I guess, of that, or just that, that he's seen Harley Quinn before.
Well, they didn't recognize Harley Quinn, quote unquote, when she came in as a hottie police officer. So I just assume he's, quote unquote, recognizes her because he's seen literally this blonde before.
Mm-hmm.
But it was weird that she used her name.
But I like how the Joker, is pissed off. He's jealous of Sid. He bails him out.
Is he jealous or is he heartbroken?
I think he's. Well, I mean, he tries to shake his hand with the tack, and I would say.
I thought heartbroken. I read heartbroken from it because he goes the man who killed Batman. He can't even get through saying killed. It's like
I think he wanted to kill Batman. I think he.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to kill Batman.
I mean that's how I interpret it, at least. Like I said before, that he wants to be the one to kill him.
I don't know if he wants to be the one to kill him. I think he
loves Batman.
I think he likes power flexing. That he wants to kill Batman, but then he isn't the one who wants to do it.
I feel like in this episode they also kind of confirm when Joker's giving his eulogy that Batman was the one that caused him to have his face be like it is or whatever.
Oh yeah, I thought that was kind of like a hint or an homage to the Tim Burton origin. Well, the Killing Joke did it first, actually, but Tim Burton took it from the Killing Joke and then put it in his movie. And this is more of almost like a weird pseudo sequel from the Tim Burton series.
I feel like because of those series, the movies were out in the public's mind, and especially children, that had seen it or whatever, that it didn't make sense for them to go against the grain. So when they didn't need to reintroduce Joker when the Joker, everybody knows who he is, from him. And the same thing with the Penguin. And the same with Catwoman. They didn't need to just do some origin stories with them because everybody knew who they were. But everybody else, they basically had to do origin stories for.
Yeah, because they weren't as fresh in the zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm. Like if they had already, but who knows? I thought that it did though it was interesting that they confirmed that Batman was the cause of it, because that was just kind of ambiguous. I felt like you never really know what story they're going with. The story in the comics has always changed. They keep retconning it and whatnot, so it's always like a different thing.
Did they actually confirm it in this episode that Batman did it here at Ace Chemical? I thought it was alluded.
Well, I thought that he was basically like he caused the like I could turn on the volume, but I thought that he says like here that he caused my injuries, and so I always want. That's why he's like he holds this vendetta against him. He's like, and it was pretty strongly alluded to.
From the man who made me the happy soul I am today.
Yeah, and he was that to me is the illusion of him. That he created the Joker, I like that line at the end when the Joker, after he dumps Sid down the acid, he's like, "Well, that was fun. Who's for Chinese?"
That's so fucked up too. It's like Joker has a funeral and an execution all at the same time, and then he's just like, yeah, goes out for Chinese food.
Classic. I did like that line. I thought that was funny, and I wrote it down.
Who's for Chinese?
Well, that was fun. Who's for Chinese? It's just like so casual. So I thought that was funny, just how he delivered it. But I did feel like this was a direct connection to Joker, because if someone else was the one to kill Batman, then the Joker's going to kill that person. It
starts being a Joker episode like halfway through the second act, when Harley Quinn shows up as a lawyer. And then it just ends, and Joker kind of just lets him be, because he's just like, all right, well, we killed Sid. Let's go for Chinese, like you mentioned. And then it's just like, and then Sid's like, and then I stumbled, out of a drain pipe or whatever, and and the lid flew off for no fucking reason. I was fine. And Rupert Thorne's all like, well, you're gonna get me. You're too smart. You're too smart there, Sid. And that felt forced.
Okay.
So the Rupert Thorne ending, I like how this story naturally kind of comes back to that and like plays out the investigation essentially, right? But it's weird how Joker just disappears, and then like and then it's like, and Rupert Thorne was the bad guy all along. It's like, so Joker just got away with everything in this episode. There's no punishment to Joker at all.
Well, yeah. I mean, generally, the Joker kind of gets away, isn't that? Even when he dies.
No, but this time he gets away for Chinese food. Like, he doesn't get away because, like, the shark's his friend, technically, and that's why the shark didn't eat him.
There's been other episodes. What about the last episode? Almost got him. He just got away at the end. Didn't he just disappear?
No, he gets arrested, I thought.
Does he?
Yeah, I could have sworn he got arrested at the end of Almost Got Him.
All right. So how many boys would you give this one?
I would give it 4.5 out of 5 boys.
Well, I gave it 5 boys.
Okay, nice.
And I'm not going to go into a long explanation, but I enjoyed it.
Why not?
What?
Why not? You didn't discuss why you liked it at all while we were watching.
I didn't. I thought it was obvious.
Yeah, I kind of like when we don't get into long explanations about our boys. Honestly, because it's kind of like you don't need to do that. We just spent 20 minutes talking about why we liked it or didn't like it. But if there's ever like a good way to conclusify your statements, then I'm always down for that. Conclusify, you like that? Totally made it up. I should say conclude, but I didn't want to. I said conclusify.
Testify.
All right.
Great bat stuff.
All
right.
Cool Boy Nation. Tune in next week. Same Cool Bat time. Same Cool Bat channel. Cool Boy Bat Nation, be sure to let us bat know what you bat thought of the man who killed Batman, or what your favorite bat episode is by bat emailing us at batmanandbeyondcoolboys@gmail.com. New episodes come out every Tuesday. Also, please check out our other great Cool Boy Central content with the Cool Boys podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Patreon. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Cool Boys. Also, review us on iTunes. You can donate to us on Patreon. It only costs $1, and you will receive special access to content too hot to air. You can find the Cool Boys on Patreon at www.patreon.com/coolboyspodcast. Thank you for listening. Stay cool, Cool Boy Bat Nation. Until next time, it's Byzies from Ballard.
And Byzies from Steven.
So cool.
Batman
And beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Batman!
and beyond.